we got a guest today. Okay, y'all. Yeah, we got a...
Hey, and welcome to Lena Listens. My name is Lena, coming to y'all with my thoughts and reviews about the JBP. Alright, y'all. I said when Joe goes to Poor Minds, I'll watch it, and I must say, no shock here. They had a time. It was a great interview, and I honestly think they covered all of the bases. Everything from business and finance, life, the JBP, bedroom talk, and the tea. You know people are going to ask Joe a thing or two. They touched on the secret women listeners, you know, women who listen to the pod on the low. And as a woman listener myself, I didn't know this was a thing for real. Now, I do remember a time where Joe wasn't seen in the best of light during the Love and Hip Hop days, and he touched on that as well. I get it. The JBP is male dominated in all facets. I'm sure there are far more guys than there are women who watches the pod, but just know a lot of women watch the pod, which is the sole reason for me making this channel in the first place. A lot of us be tapped in all week like the fellas. His reasoning made all of the sense in the world to me, basically stating that it depends on which version of him people remember or was introduced to, which light they saw him in, basically. I think Joe answered all of the questions well and respectfully, because even he joked on Lex for slow walking the dog when they came to the pod tea.
So it was supposed to be Mona on the couch with Melissa still there.
If you're asking me to draw, yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that because on the outside, you know, because I'm one of them girls. I'll be turning on the podcast now.
Of course, they touched on the dynamics of the pod, and the ladies seems to enjoy the new additions, the Philly squad, Mark and Mona. Joe answered everything cool. Same for the Rolling Stones interview, and I'll touch on that in a few as well. With Joe making his rounds to different platforms for the end of this quarter, hopefully asking about Mel and Mona will come to an end, because I'm almost certain they all want these questions to die down, because apparently everyone's doing their own thing no matter what it is. And with Joe answering these questions everywhere he goes, hopefully next year the Mel questions will be a thing of the past. Let these folks go about their business. It's been long enough. I'm on the side of well wishes for all, and just keep the ball rolling. They did a great job at keeping a balance for this episode. They got all of the serious stuff out and then had some fun.
Hey!
What was that other song? Remember when Shantae told her friends?
Shantae's got a man.
And she said,
right.
I'm sorry that...
I was cracking up at Joe when the ladies got to their ad segment and all of them singing, all three of them singing. Now, you know that's Joe's thing. You know he's an R&B, like he say, he was hitting them notes. And they gave Joe his flowers this episode as well. Speaking of giving flowers, can we talk about the Rolling Stones interview real quick? I watched it last night as I was cooking dinner, and I gotta say, it was a great interview, y'all. It wasn't forced. The interviewer, Jeff Ihaza, did a phenomenal job as well. This is how interviews should go. Jeff being a part of the culture, covering the culture, makes sense because he actually knows what's going on, you know? It was raw and honest. If you're a fan of the JBP, a lot of this we heard over time by Joe on the pod, but it was fleshed out more in the interview. I liked how he spoke on the cast, each and every one of them. There wasn't any telephone voices, and you know what I mean by the telephone voice. Nobody was fake or phony. It was an authentic conversation. When Joe tapped onto the music, the Napster and Dat Piff days, it took me back, y'all. It really did. Because I remember when my dad installed Napster on the family room computer and me making my very first CD. Instantly remember living on Dat Piff, getting all of my mixtapes. That's also back when Trey Songz and Chris Brown was rapping. If you know, you know. Y'all know. In the MySpace days, we all were coders. If you had a decent self-made page, you, my friend, was a coder. My pages, top tier. top tier. Not me getting sidetracked, but I say all of this to say it was a great sit down. They touched on the JBP movie and or doc, and the way they're into docs, I can see it. I can see it. Endless possibilities. What a way to close the year. What a way to end the year here. Shout out to the gang. I always say if I can get on here and talk about the tea and everything else, I can talk about the positives and give praises. Do I point out the foolishness? Yes, I do. But I also point out and commend the positivity, and this video is solely that. Did y'all check out the Rolling Stones interview or the Poor Minds interview? Also, the Patronis were in the Rolling Stones comments heavy, all up and through. Oh my gosh, talk about a community. If you're feeling the content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Oh, I have a hype button now, y'all. Smash that thing if you see it. Hype me up like that tall dude on Instagram. And y'all know who I'm talking about. Until next time, y'all. Bye.